Welcome. In this gentle stillness between heartbeats, you've arrived at a space not defined by walls or clocks, but by presence. A sacred pause, where your thoughts soften and awareness begins to rise like mist from the earth. You're not here to simply hear words. You're here to remember what you already know. A frequency, a silent current that has always flowed through your being. Everything spoken here is merely a gesture towards something that already lives within you. An ancient wisdom, quiet and vast, that sees beyond the surface and feels truth behind every thought. Don't rush, don't analyze. In this place, to understand is to feel. To feel is to remember. And to remember is to return home, to the most intimate place of your being. Right now, allow yourself to not know. Just be. Close your eyes if you wish. Breathe deeply. Feel. You are back. You are not thinking alone. Not now, and not ever. Even when you believed yourself to be isolated, cut off, confined within the walls of your own mind. The truth is, you were always connected to something infinitely greater. Thought is not an island, it is a wave, and every wave needs an ocean to exist. That ocean is the unified field, an invisible vastness where all minds converge, even without realizing it. Since childhood, we were taught that thinking is an individual act, as if ideas were born in isolation, inside the head, disconnected from the world. But slowly, ancient teachings and modern discoveries have revealed something different. What if thoughts are not created but received? What if we are not only creators but also receivers? The mind, then, would be an antenna, tuning into the frequencies of the field. This field has been named in many ways: spirit, akasha, universal mind. Or in modern terms, quantum field, morphogenetic field, or collective consciousness. But in truth, the name doesn't matter. What matters is the experience. If you've ever had an idea that seemed to come from nowhere, if you've ever felt something you couldn't explain, if you've ever intuited an answer without knowing the question, then you've touched the field. It has already moved through you. And now, we will deepen this remembrance. To understand the unified field, we must first let go of the illusion of separation. For separation is the realm of the ego. But the field knows no boundaries. It merges all consciousness into a single whole. Theoretical physicist David Bohm spoke of an implicate order within the universe, an invisible architecture where all things are connected. According to him, what we perceive is merely the surface. True reality pulses beneath that layer, where everything flows as one. Biologist Rupert Sheldrake introduced the concept of morphogenetic fields. He proposed that shapes, behaviors, and memories are not stored in the brain, but in the collective field of the species. In this view, every thought you have is affected by what others have already thought, and your thoughts, in turn, affect the collective. Quantum physics also brings its clues. Particles, even when separated by immense distances, remain mysteriously connected, behaving as if still united. This entanglement suggests something beyond matter, an information that does not belong to space, but to the field. When we meditate, when we quiet the mind, or feel something deeply, we access the field. We are waves in an ocean of vibrations. And in this ocean, there is no such thing as solitude. Have you ever felt that your pain wasn't only yours, or that your joy radiated far beyond your body? But that happens because feelings are not confined to the body. They move through, they expand, they touch. In the unified field, there are no boundaries between feeling and being. Every emotion born within you resonates through other layers of reality. But when you feel love, that love nourishes the field. When you feel fear, that fear also speaks. Not as punishment, but as vibration. And the field, being sensitive, responds. You do not feel alone. You do not suffer alone. And most importantly, you do not heal alone. Every time you transform, the field transforms with you. In moments of deep pain, focus yourself. You are being heard. Even if no one sees, even if you do not speak, the field hears your vibration. Thinking and feeling, two forces that build us moment by moment. And yet, we often treat them as if they were separate. But within the unified field, there is no break between what is thought and what is felt. Thoughts are like seeds. Emotions are the soil in which they land. Each thought carries a vibration. That vibration penetrates the field and begins to find resonance. As if a musical note attracts other notes in the same key. From that, a vibrational pattern is formed. That pattern shapes the reality around you. But a strong emotion, even without words, changes how the field responds to you. If your mind vibrates fear, the field reflects back challenges. If it vibrates gratitude, the field echoes possibilities, not as magic, but as resonance. You don't need to force positive feelings. You only need to notice what you feel. And allow that feeling to be conscious. Because every emotion felt truthfully is transmuted by the field into learning and expansion. Observe your thoughts throughout the day. You'll notice many of them arise from external stimuli, words overheard, glances seen, emotional atmospheres nearby. You absorb those vibrations too. Likewise, some thoughts arrive with no clear connection to your day. They simply emerge, as if whispered by an unseen breeze. In those moments, breathe. It may be the field offering an answer your mind has not yet asked. And if the thoughts are shadows, remember, the field does not judge. It transforms what is received in love. So instead of fighting them, listen to them with presence. Feel what they want to reveal and let them pass like clouds in the wind. When thought and emotion align, you become a clear frequency, and a clear frequency attracts clarity around it. In this state, the field arranges itself in harmony with you. Now we enter a moment of practice, a pause, a space for you to experience connection with the field, not through effort, but through presence. Close your eyes if you wish. Sit comfortably. Place your hands on your chest or resting gently on your knees. Breathe deeply and exhale softly. Do this a few times until your body begins to settle. Now, observe your inner field. How is your mind? How is your body? Is there tension? Are there persistent thoughts? Do not try to change anything. Just observe. You are becoming aware. Now imagine you are at the center of a vast field, a field of gentle, luminous energy. This energy is alive. It pulses with intelligence. It recognizes you. Inhale slowly. As you exhale, release any weight, any idea, any fear. With each breath, feel the field drawing closer. Feel it wrapping around your body, embracing your thoughts, holding your emotion. If a thought arises, mentally say, I see you. I thank you for your presence. You may pass. And watch it dissolve, as if it was never an obstacle. Now, remain in inner silence. Even if outer sounds continue, there is a place within you where everything is peace. That is the center of connection with the field. Stay there for a few moments. When you're ready to return, move your fingers. Feel the space around you. Gently open your eyes. Take this remembrance with you. The field lives within you, and you can access it at any moment. The experience of the field doesn't have to be rare. It can be nurtured, sustained, expanded, even in the midst of daily routine. Begin the day with a clear intention. Today, I choose to vibrate with awareness. This simple phrase opens a frequency of presence that shapes your choices and encounters throughout the day. But throughout your day, take mindful pauses. They don't have to be long. 3 conscious breaths, a long gaze toward the sky, a silent listening to your emotions. All of it nourishes the field. When speaking with someone, remember, you share the same field. The words you choose, the tone of your voice, the feeling behind your gesture. Everything vibrates beyond what is seen. Don't underestimate a kind thought, a silent prayer, a choice made with love. These small gestures are seeds of light in the field, and the field blossoms. Avoid overloading your field with excessive distractions, not because they are wrong, but because they take you away from the vibration you wish to sustain. Be selective with what nourishes your mind. It is the portal through which you connect to the whole. And before sleep, take a small moment of return. Ask yourself, how did I vibrate today? And upon recognizing moments of presence, be grateful. Even the detours have value, for they show where the path still needs opening. Remember, you are not thinking alone. You never were. By caring for your vibration, you care for the field. And by caring for the field, you care for the world. We've come to the end of this journey, but the field remains, always available, always silent, always vibrating. Now you know, the thoughts that arrive don't come from nowhere. They pass through you and ask only for awareness, presence, welcome. For you are part of a whole, and this whole feels with you, thinks with you, loves through you. There is no loneliness in the field. There is only forgetting. And now, remember. If this content touched something in you, return to it whenever you need. Share it with those who also seek. Expand the vibration. Be a point of light in the fabric of collective consciousness. From gratitude for walking this path, for listening with your heart, for vibrating with presence. You are a living part of the field, and your awareness is a seed of change. Until the next crossing, until the next reunion within yourself. To expand consciousness is not to leave the body, but to inhabit it more fully. It is not to deny the world, but to see the world from within, to notice the invisible connections that sustain each movement, each choice, each silence. Individual consciousness is like a pocket mirror carried by each being, but this mirror is not separate from the whole. It reflects the whole. The clearer the mirror, the sharper the image of unified consciousness. The expansion begins with one simple act: observation. Observe your own thoughts without attachment. Observe your emotions without sinking into them. Observe your body without rejecting it. Continuous observation is the beginning of liberation. When you begin to see what you think, you realize there is something beyond thought, something that sees, that observes. That something is you in your purest form. It is consciousness in a state of presence. And it is that presence that communicates with the field. Not the words, not the fleeting desires, but the steady vibration of your attention. Where you place your attention, you place your frequency. Consciousness doesn't grow through effort. It grows through surrender. The more you release the need to control, the more internal space opens for higher intelligence to express through you. At first, it feels difficult. The mind wants answers. The ego wants certainty. The body seeks safety. But as consciousness expands, you begin to recognize yourself as part of the flow. And within the flow, there is trust. You no longer need to know everything. You need to feel with truth. That is the language of the field, and you are learning to speak it again. Everything in the universe vibrates, and every vibration carries information. Your personal vibration is the signature you emit to the unified field, and intention is the direction of that vibration. Intention is not just desire. It is the deep motive that sustains desire. It rises from the heart before turning into thought, and the field responds to intention even before it responds to action. When you think one thing intensely but feel another, the field hears the vibration that is most coherent. Not what you say, but what you emit. That's why aligning intention and emotion is the path to conscious co-creation. A clear intention, fueled by elevated emotion, creates direct resonance with the field. You are not asking the universe for anything. You are vibrating with it, tuning into what already exists in potential form. And by vibrating with presence, you collapse possibilities into reality. But the vibration you sustain throughout your day matters more than a single moment of prayer. It is continuous, and the field reads that vibration as an access code. Intend gently, feel deeply, vibrate consciously, and everything aligned with that frequency will come to you without struggle, without force. Not as a reward, but as a reflection. The field simply returns what you offer to it in a state of truth. Have you ever experienced synchronicities? That feeling that the universe spoke to you through a number, a song, a phrase someone happened to say. Synchronicity is not coincidence. It is alignment. It is the field responding to your current vibration with signs, encounters, and symbolic messages. But the more conscious you become, the more synchronicities you begin to notice. They were always there, but your perception wasn't yet open. Now it is. The universe is always communicating, but its language is energetic, intuitive, subtle, and so it requires inner stillness to be heard. Intuition and synchronicity walk side by side. When you follow intuition, the field organizes itself to confirm. It offers symbolic confirmations to strengthen your faith, your listening, your direction. Don't wait to understand everything. Learn to recognize the signs. They are not predictions of the future, but confirmations of alignment in the present. And when you are on the right path, you'll feel peace. Not the absence of challenge, but the presence of meaning. And the field will vibrate with you in silence. You are a co-creator, but also a translator of the invisible. Synchronicity is the field's language, spoken in your inner dialect. There is a form of intelligence that does not impose. It doesn't shout, doesn't demand, doesn't invade. It simply is. Silent, attentive, eternally available. This is the intelligence of the field. This intelligence doesn't solve everything for you because it respects your rhythm. It does not interfere. It cooperates, but only to the extent that you listen. The more you silence, the more you understand. Not because you received logical answers, but because you felt them with clarity. But the field is never absent. It is the restless mind that loses the connection. But when the heart quiets down, this intelligence reveals itself in the form of precise intuitions, unexplainable gut feelings, sudden clarity that appears like light in the night. Have you ever known what to do without knowing why? Felt certainty without proof? That is the silent intelligence manifesting through you. It lives beyond words. It flows in the body, in the energy, in presence, It is too subtle to be forced, and too wise to be ignored. And there is no need to chase this intelligence. It is already here. What is needed is not to suffocate it with noise, with doubt, with urgency. It blossoms in the soil of deep listening. And when you honor it, it expands. When you follow it, it reveals itself. When you trust it, it guides you. This silent intelligence is the unified consciousness itself, speaking to you, through you, within you. Have you ever noticed how life seems to respond to your inner state? As if the outer events were mirrors of what's vibrating inside you. This is one of the deepest truths of the field. It reflects who you are, not who you pretend to be. The field does not judge, does not punish, does not reward. It reflects. If you vibrate scarcity, it shows you lack. If you vibrate trust, it reveals pathways. Not because there is judgment, but because there is resonance. It's like a musical instrument. It only responds to the notes you are emitting. This mirror does not exist to condemn. It exists to illuminate. When life shows you disconnection, it's pointing where to look. When it shows you synchronicity, it's saying you are in alignment. Observing what manifests outside is one of the most direct ways to access the wisdom of the field, because the outside and the inside have never been separate. The field is the mirror of your soul. It returns, with love, everything you need to see. And when you understand this, the world ceases to be a threat and becomes your teacher. When the soul does not seek control, it seeks expansion. And to expand, it needs to see itself truthfully. The field reflects that truth with compassion. Don't run from the reflections. Use them as portals. Every challenge can be a reminder that something is waiting to be seen through the eyes of consciousness. When the mind becomes silent, the field opens. You don't need to force thoughts away. Just stop following them. Observe without judgment. Witness without identification. A noisy mind closes doors. A silent mind is an open doorway. Silence is not the absence of sound. It is the fullness of presence. When there is inner stillness, the field responds with clarity. Have you noticed that the most important moments in life often happen in silence? Birth, death, moments of epiphany, all wrapped in stillness. This is no accident. It's a sign. A mind trained to hear the field doesn't chase after answers. It receives them when it's empty enough to truly listen. And for that, silence is the way. Or begin simply. 5 minutes of silence each day. No music, no phone, no pressure. Just be, just breathe, just allow. In that space, the field speaks, with images, with sensations, with sudden insights. None of it comes through force. All of it arrives through surrender. You don't need to control the mind. You need to welcome what it brings, without becoming its prisoner. The awareness that observes is greater than any thought. Cultivate silence like fertile soil. In it, the seeds of the field know exactly how to grow. Every relationship is an encounter of fields. When two people meet, it's not just bodies or ideas that interact, but vibrational fields that touch, merge, and recognize each other. Have you ever felt immediate empathy for someone? Or sudden discomfort without an obvious reason? That's the field reading the field, the subtle intelligence of vibration, recognizing patterns, congruencies, or dissonance. But true love is not born from mental affinity alone. It blooms from vibrational alignment. When there is resonance between fields, the presence of the other person heals us, inspires us, reminds us of who we are. But not every field is meant to stay. Some encounters occur just to reveal something we need to see in ourselves. And once revealed, the field dissolves, like a breeze that has fulfilled its purpose. Suffering in relationships often comes from the attempt to hold on to a field that has already moved on. Detachment, then, is the wisdom of honoring the connection without forcing permanence. Every energetic exchange is a silent prayer. Even friction carries messages. What matters is not the emotion that arises, but the awareness that observes it. The field of relationships is a laboratory for expansion. Don't run from people. Learn to listen with subtle senses. You are not interacting with personalities, but with frequencies. Every person you meet is a manifestation of the field, showing you something that already lives within you. The greatest illusion of the human being is internal separation, the belief in a good self and a bad self, a spiritual side and a worldly side, a part of light and a part of shadow. But the field does not recognize this division. It sees wholeness. You don't need to heal by eliminating parts of yourself. You heal by embracing them, by integrating them, by becoming whole. Separation is born from rejection. We reject pain, anger, fear, and in doing so, we disconnect from our source. But when you embrace your shadow with love and honesty, it transforms. The field responds to integrity. When you are whole, without pretending, without fragmentation, the field vibrates with you in totality. Don't fear your imperfections. They are doorways to evolution. The deepest form of forgiveness is the one you offer yourself. When you accept yourself, the field receives you in your highest frequency. It's not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming real. That's what the field recognizes. Mois, you are not divided. You are in the process of inner reconciliation. And that reconciliation is sacred. Or the field is whole, and it is inviting you to remember you are too. Sometimes, it's not what we say, but what we feel while saying it, that vibrates the strongest. Unspoken intentions, those we never express with words, carry weight. They are felt, perceived, transmitted through the field. A false compliment vibrates with dissonance. A silence filled with compassion heals without needing to speak. When we become aware of our intentions, our gestures vibrate with truth. And truth doesn't need to be loud. It resonates on its own. That's why, more than speaking, We must learn to feel clearly what we wish to transmit to the world. But behind every phrase there is a frequency. Behind every smile there is an energy. Behind every silence there is a message. But the field listens to all of it, especially to what remains unspoken. And to speak with the soul, you must feel with the heart. And when that happens, your presence alone becomes a vibration that touches everything around you. Or you become a tuning fork, an instrument in harmony with the greater symphony of the field. There is a silence that is not empty, but full. Full of presence, full of truth, full of listening. This silence is not about the absence of sound, but the presence of meaning. It is a doorway. It is a path. It is a frequency. When you tune into this silence, you no longer need to search for the field. You are the field. You become its open space, its mirror, its vibration made form. And this kind of silence cannot be taught. It is remembered, reclaimed, and once accessed, it transforms everything. From this silence, you begin to see more clearly, feel more deeply, choose more consciously. But the noise of the world loses its grip, and the voice within, the one that speaks without words, begins to rise. This voice does not rush. It does not argue. It simply is gentle, certain, alive. Silence then is not escape. It is return. Return to the self. Return to coherence. Return to the field that has always been here, waiting for your stillness. May you carry this silence with you, not as a weight, but as light, not as a rule, but as rhythm, not as a void, but as sacred space where everything becomes whole again. You don't need to understand it all. Just allow yourself to feel. That is enough. And so, see you in the next video, with more information on everything that involves growing, evolving, transforming, and manifesting. See you soon.